Hello. So today we're talking about the new moon in Aries, and it's at 15 degrees of Aries. And we just had the spring equinox, right? And if we didn't get immersed enough in that spring vibe energy, here comes this new moon. We did have the full moon at the equinox, which is very energetic. And this is a time to really kind of not slow, because definitely things are feeling faster, but to really get internal, like to turn inward at this new moon. New moons are more restful. They're a time for us to really get clear with ourselves, get in alignment with ourselves, and understand okay, this is where we've been this last month. Looking at the start of this last month, this last moon cycle, we started with the Pisces new moon. And the Pisces new moon it's the beginning of the end, kind of, in a way. It's like the coming to the closure of the cyclical nature of the zodiac. And then we had that Mercury retrograde, which was crazy. And we are still feeling, Mercury is going to be transversing back over all of that territory. A lot of people don't understand what a Mercury retrograde is. In astrology, it's a real thing in astrology. However, in reality, astrology is energetic, right? And then the logical is that it just appears that it's moving back. However, astrologically and energetically, we feel that. A lot of people feel that backwards movement of Mercury. So Mercury just went retrograde and finished its retrograde. So when it goes retrograde, it started at the 29th degree of Pisces, which is the culmination of the whole zodiac. It started there. It went back to 16 or 15 degrees of Pisces. And then it went direct this last week. It went direct exactly on Neptune, stationed direct on Neptune. Neptune is that dreamy dream. It rules Pisces. Mercury in Pisces doesn't like to be there. Mercury and Neptune don't always align, and Neptune's always more powerful. Neptune and Pluto, if they're conjunct anything, they are going to lead the show. And so having Mercury, first of all, retrograde in a sign that's ruled by Neptune means that we're really going into those deeper conscious, those cracks and crevices where we don't understand why we believe something to be true, why we don't understand our motives in our life, or why we feel like we can't do certain things in our life. It's really having us explore those things. So it's a very internal process. Then to go direct on Neptune is another aspect of it just becoming very internal, very mystical. It's like all of the pieces are coming together. Mercury just likes logic, and Neptune is like, hey, logic's great, but you need these other aspects, this more feminine, emotional coherency in your life to understand why you've been doing the things that you've been doing, where you've gone astray from your goals, from your visions for yourself. And hey, any disillusionment that you've had, using substances, not only substances, but our phones and sex and checking out, and even working out can be a disillusionment if we're addicted to it. If we can't do that thing and it destroys us because we can't do that thing, that's an issue, right? So it's anything like that is really coming up for us to look at how we check out or we numb ourselves through those things, okay? So I'm not saying that all those things are bad. I'm just saying we're really looking at where we check out, where we tune out from the rest of the world. I'm just Alicia, hi. Paco, come here. So I've got Paco here, and we're just on the trail, and I just heard another doggy, so I want to check in. So that's all happening as we're coming to, so that was this last moon cycle, and then we had the full moon in 0 degrees of Libra. And the full moon in 0 degrees of Libra is really about a fresh new cycle in terms of relating. Libra is the most about relating. Come here, Paco. Because it's seeking that balance through another. And there's nothing wrong with learning from each other. That's what we're here to do. And so, there's this whole movement of cutting people out of your life and self-care to the extreme that you're just alone. And this whole idea of Libra is no. We learn from each other. We grow from each other, and let's have that experience, and let's be authentic and real in what's coming up. And so many of us don't have the communication skills or the authenticity to say when something is up for us so that we can all move forward together. So it was really highlighting that this full moon. And then guess what? This moon cycle starts in Aries. and we'll get a second full moon in Libra. And the second full moon in Libra will be on the 29th degree, and that's the ending. So 0 degrees is the very beginning, starting a new cycle, and 29 degrees is the ending. And so we have to look at where we're being asked to cut from our own, not cut anyone else out, cut from our own ideals of codependency, of needing another, of not being strong enough on our own. All of those things are really coming into the forefront. I say that, Aries is like the spiritual warrior. And sometimes, they can be fighting the good fight, and sometimes they're not fighting the good fight. And so it's really a time for us to look at where we're expending our energy, where we're using our resources. And with the sun and moon, both our emotional, the moon is our emotional needs, and the sun is our consciousness, like where we're really alert and aware to where we need to go. So when they come together, it's a very powerful time. So you want to know where 15 degrees of Aries is in your chart, and it's going to show you where you're being asked to set new intention, where you're being asked to not only bring your conscious mind, because it's already going to be there, and also your emotional needs. And so knowing, which house this is in for you is going to really help you to understand where you might want to set intention, okay? So that's something I do. When we look at the birth chart, first of all, you get your birth chart when you work with me so that in the future you can look at these transits, we call them. Whatever's happening in the sky right now are the transits. Whatever was happening on the moment you took your first breath, that was your birth chart. And now all these different planets come across and they transit. They might be right on top of your sun, and they might be opposite of your sun, or they might be opposite of your moon, and it's going to have meaning for your life. And so when we look at these transits, and when you work with an astrologer, it's not taking away the issue, because the issue is the learning experience. It's helping you to have awareness and to grow from the experience, instead of either A, shying away from it and then having to replay it again, or B, totally not even knowing what's happening, so not knowing what you're being asked to do. So astrology just really helps you to have the awareness. And I think there's nothing more important in our lives to have that awareness. That's where the healing happens. So this awareness, this conscious awareness, and our emotional awareness is in this first sign of the zodiac, fresh starts. We're really being asked to start all over fresh. All planets are direct at this time, and they won't be for long. So we really want to use this energy. We want to utilize this time period to really get in alignment with what were our goals for 2019, where are we now, and what, now maybe it's changed a little bit. I know for myself, I'm going to definitely I've already manifested some of the things on my vision board, so I'm going to create a new vision board, because this new moon is really the start of the astrological year. I say that the sun, when it moves into that 1st degree of, or 0 degree of Aries, which is the equinox, that is the beginning of the new cycle. And then this is the beginning of the new lunar cycle. So we are starting our emotional... Hey, Paco, I'm not going to throw your stick. It's not going to happen. We already talked about this. We had a long conversation. You agreed. So this is our emotions, our emotional needs, what we need for our internal subconscious mind to be at peace, to be at ease. And I don't know if you guys feel this happening, but it's really apparent to me that, a lot of the places that I've been asked to go in this last month have prepared me. Paco, no. Oh my gosh, you just got my shoes so dirty. He's like digging at the stick underneath my feet, and I'm trying to move the stick away from him. Okay, I'm going to start walking. So that's what's happening, guys. So I don't know about you guys, but just look at where you've been in this last month. Mercury's still transversing over the same period that it went through before the retrograde. No, after the retrograde started, it's kind of going back over, and it will be, I think, until the end of this month, possibly before that, but it's transversing over. So you want to really look at where you've been taken on a journey, and where you're being asked, where you're being led to start fresh with your identity. Aries is about our identity. It's about showing up and what people see us as, and maybe making changes to that so that we feel more at peace and more in alignment with our true inner self. And that's what we've been shown, our true inner self this last month, and what we really want and what we really desire in terms of emotional security, in terms of our, higher vision for our lives. And so now it's time to just fully get in alignment with that. So when you're setting intentions, I have a free new moon meditation. Maybe I'll post to it in the link below, but definitely look at, sit with yourself, set out a candle, sit in the dark. I always say sitting in the dark at the new moon is the most powerful thing. Sitting in the bath just by candlelight, or, after dark. So the new moon will be exact Friday morning, Pacific Standard Time, at 4 a.m. So if you're up late Friday night, that's a great time. Also, if you're up early Friday morning, that's a great time to really set these intentions, okay? And if you've just been really interested in astrology, but you're still really confused about things, reach out to me. I do have an astrology school. I'm super excited to share that with you guys. And I do have a monthly payment plan to make it accessible to you guys. It's a 12-week program. It includes 2 personal coaching calls with me where we go over any sticky points, where we look at what you're learning and how to make it more cohesive so that you can read other people's charts, so that you can have this as a tool in your own life, for your family, for yourself, to really excel in having that awareness of what's happening, these growth periods that we go through, and how to access your strengths and your power during these times. So thank you so much for tuning in. I didn't even introduce myself at the beginning, but this is Abigail Barella with Sparkle and Shine Guidance. There you go. And so I'll link to my website below, and you can always set up a free call with me to see, maybe you're interested in working with me, but you don't exactly know how I can help you or what services would be most helpful to you. Definitely just set up a free call with me, and that's just on my webpage, abigailbarella.com, and we can figure that out together. Have a great day, you guys. Happy new mooning.